You might be wondering whether positivism simply turns people into numbers and whether that is enough for a strong UPSC answer on social research methods. By the end of this video, you will be completely clear about what positivism claims, where it helps you score, and where it can mislead you. Think of positivism as a plan to study society the way a scientist studies the physical world, through careful observation, measurement, and the search for regular patterns. In this session, we will look at the core idea, the pioneering thinkers, the methods they recommended, common criticisms, and smart ways to use these ideas in your UPSC answers. Imagine society as a clockwork mechanism that early positivists believed follows discoverable regularities. That mental image helps explain why they sought laws of social life. Saint-Simon first suggested a science of society where experts use empirical knowledge to plan progress, an idea that gave later theorists their practical starting point. Auguste Comte named sociology and argued that knowledge passes through stages, placing sociology at the top because it deals with collective human life and complexity. Comte also divided sociology into social statics, which studies order and institutions, and social dynamics, which studies change and progress. A useful pair to remember for answers. Comte recommended methods like systematic observation, experiment where possible, historical analysis, and comparative study. These are the tools positivists borrowed from the natural sciences. Emile Durkheim took positivism into practical sociology by insisting that social facts should be treated as things, external, measurable, and capable of producing general findings. Durkheim's study of suicide used statistics and comparative data to show how societal conditions shape individual acts, and that empirical method is a classic example you can cite in Mains answers. Herbert Spencer introduced the organic analogy and social evolution, encouraging the search for general laws of social development, another pillar of classical positivism. Core features to visualize: empiricism, trust what can be observed; objectivity, aim for detachment; causality, seek cause and effect; and generalization, build testable theories. Positivists value predictability and deductive reasoning, so their research often starts with a theory, deduces hypotheses, and then tests them against data, like a hypothesis-driven experiment. For UPSC, note that mentioning these methods and linking them to a real study, such as Durkheim's suicide analysis, strengthens your methodological answers and shows conceptual command. But a key question remains: does this approach miss the human meanings behind actions? And how should you address that in an exam answer? Critics argue that positivism neglects subjective meanings and context. Human motives, beliefs, and culture are not always visible in measurable data and need interpretive attention. Other criticisms highlight limits of universal laws. Social life is shaped by history, culture, and agency. So a law that holds in one society may not apply elsewhere. Positivist methods can also be ethically and politically risky if used uncritically, because supposedly neutral data can hide power relations or justify narrow technocratic policies. In response, sociology developed interpretivism or Weberian Verstehen, which stresses understanding action from the actor's perspective using qualitative methods like interviews and participant observation. Critical and Marxian approaches add another layer by focusing on power, ideology, and exploitation, reminding you to be reflexive about values and political consequences in research. Methodological pluralism, combining quantitative and qualitative tools, is the practical takeaway for UPSC answers. It shows balanced thinking and methodological maturity. Post-positivism accepts empirical methods but warns that observation is theory-laden and absolute objectivity is impossible. A nuanced point you can include to impress examiners. When writing answers, briefly define positivism, name Comte and Durkheim, give a crisp example like Durkheim's suicide study, state two core features, and then present two criticisms with alternatives. This structure, concept, pioneers, methods, example, critique, alternatives, gives you a compact, high-scoring answer framework for both Sociology Optional and GS papers where research methodology appears. And towards the end, we will understand a key idea that most UPSC aspirants miss: that positivist tools are valuable but must be used alongside interpretive insights to capture social reality fully. Quick recap. Positivism promotes empirical measurement and search for regularities. Comte and Durkheim are central figures. Methods include observation and comparison, and major critiques focus on meaning and context. Remember to balance your answer with examples and a short evaluative paragraph recommending mixed methods or reflexivity to show critical awareness. If you found this helpful, keep practicing these answer templates and examples, and you'll find positivism becomes an easy exam-ready topic rather than a confusing theoretical maze. For more concise notes, diagrammatic memory aids, and practice questions linked to UPSC trends, continue learning with EduRev. We have topic summaries and model answers to help you excel.